everyone, welcome back to the show, Inquisitive I Am. I am your host, Nicole Petite. We are running a few minutes late, but I hope you all can come on in and join us today. We have a very special guest today. We have Miss Joyce Morrissette coming in today to talk about drug addiction. Well, she'll tell us a little bit about how she overcame where she was in her past, which is her past, and let us know how she's become such a successful, beautiful woman today, and give us all some education on the program that she counsels, the program that she educates, the program that she coordinates. Such a brilliant woman, a brilliant mind. So she will be joining us here shortly. You know, I got to bring it to you guys. My book, you see it? It's still out. Focus, Fearless, and Fighting. School year starting. I think it would be an awesome help for the parents as well as some of the educators. Pick it up. Parents, let's try to help the educators out as much as possible. I know when the year starts, we all have a tendency to believe that it's the educator's job to raise our children. They are educators, they are counselors, they are mom, they are dad. We put so much on our educators throughout the school year. So this year, parents, let's try to help out as much as we can. The book is available online at Amazon, or you can go to barnesandnobles.com as well and grab a copy of the book. It is raw and uncut. There are some things in the book that you may not be willing to speak with your children about. If that's the case, then make sure that somebody is talking to the children, because social media is out there, and you better believe that they're hearing it from somewhere or they're seeing it from somewhere. So let's try to start this school year off right, get in the know, find out what's going on. Let's start going to PTA meetings. Let's start meeting our teachers and getting to know what we need to know for our students this year, for the school year. Let's see what else we got going on. The Six Figure Club that me and Kistra Scott, we're both over. We are now officially a nonprofit program. We are headed to the Museum of Peace and Justice next month. I'm so excited for the students. We will have open enrollment soon. We will only be taking a maximum of 10 students when we decide to open enrollment. So we do have that going on. I'm proud of all my Six Figure Club students. Oh, the art walk is coming up, and I know my friend Taquita is getting ready to set up a voters registration. We all need to make sure we register to vote. We do have an upcoming election in November, so we want to be involved as much as we possibly can. I did a live probably about maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago just to give you my little metaphor on why we should rock our vote. So we need to get out and make sure, if you're out during that weekend, hopefully the rain is not going to stop us. Go out and register to vote. I will hopefully have more information about that as it gets closer to the art walk, so you'll know where to go to make sure you're able to do that. We're going to take a short break. We will be back with our guest, Ms. Morrissette. Hope you guys don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.
Recently, I was in a car accident, and my lawyer got me $3.5 million.
Stop lying! You're an actor! You know you didn't get no $3.5 million back! Tell the truth! Come on, baby! I'm Attorney Jerome Carter. If you want to keep most of your money, call me right now. That's what I'm talking about, baby! Whoa!
Just trying to make a dollar.
Welcome back, welcome back. I want to introduce our special guest for today, Miss Beautiful Joyce Morrissette. How are you doing today?
I'm well, and yourself?
I am fantastic. I am so glad that you joined us today. We have some stuff we could talk about.
Okay.
You know, I try to bring guests on where the guests can actually talk about things that can impact the community, because we all have these concerns. We're all dealing with these same issues. So I said, you know what? That's what we need to bring on the show. And I'm so glad that you are just blessing us with your presence today.
Okay.
So we're going to get started. Right now, we know you are let me make sure I get this right. You're in the drug court program, and you are the coordinator and the counselor of the program.
Yes, that's correct.
So let's talk about your history, if you will, and let us know how you got from where you were to where you are now.
Okay, my history is, well, first of all, I'd like to thank you for inviting me to come out and share my story. My history is, I started experimenting with drugs and alcohol at a young age. I graduated high school at the age of 16.
Oh, wow.
And I relocated to California with my parents. I went to college, and just like the average young child, I made a decision that I wanted to work and go to school later. And that's when I started experimenting with drugs. Okay. I started in Los Angeles, and my drug of choice was crack cocaine. Wow. That was during the time when the crack epidemic was full in effect. I did crack cocaine for numerous years. My dreams and all my things that I wanted to do in life went to the side. Right. I had a child, and you know, there was times when I would stop using for a short period of time, only to return back to active addiction. And then it was an incident that happened in my life where I was in California, and it was some gang members, and it was in Los Angeles, and I actually had taken some drugs and some money from some gang members, and I was kidnapped and held hostage for numbers of days. They wanted to kill me over $700 worth of crack cocaine. Oh my gosh. That you would think that would have been enough for me to stop using. The police eventually located me, and they took me to a hospital, and I was listed in the hospital under Jane Doe. Yeah, because the gang members were looking for me.
Right, they would have showed up, I'm sure.
So I was in the hospital for like a month, and I lost my eyesight in both my eyes. I couldn't see. And when I was released from the hospital, I regained my sight in one eye. They told me I would never ever be able to see again, but of course I can see today. Yes. Thank God for that. Yes. So it came to a point, of course, you know, I pressed charges. You know, I worked with the police to find out, because nobody deserved the treatment that I received. And there was a point where they started making the arrest, and I was given the option. I was given 3 options: either relocate in the state of California, and the state would, of course, pay for it for a short period of time. I could go into a victim witness program, or I could relocate on my own. And at the time, I was pregnant with my daughter. And so I made the decision. Of course, I didn't want to go into a victim witness program and not be able to see my family anymore. So I made the decision to come home, and Mobile was home. And I returned to Mobile, 7 months pregnant, a crack addict, and it was at that point you would think that someone would stop, you know, but I didn't stop. You know, I eventually had my child, continued to use, excuse me, and then my grandparents, they took my child away from me. She was 6 months old, and then there was a point where I continued using, and there was a point where I was in the vehicle with a gentleman, and we got stopped, pulled over by the police. And of course, I had crack pipe in my possession. So I went to jail, and I was given the option to either take a drug court program or go to prison for some time. And going to prison was not an option.
Was not an option.
It was not an option for me. So I made the decision to enter into drug court, and that was in 1998. And I pled into the drug court program with no desire to want to stop using.
You
know.
You just want to go to prison?
No, I didn't want to go to prison, but then I was like, I can't see myself going to prison just for using drugs. I didn't kill anybody. I didn't rob anyone. You know, I was just getting high.
Didn't make any sense.
So I got into the drug court program. I remember it was in February of '98. That's when I pled into the program. And of course, I was not the model client. And I continued to use. And after 2 weeks in the program, I made a decision that I was going to leave the program and say, catch me if you can.
Oh, wow.
So I went AWOL from the program. Back then, we had Judge McMakin, who was over the drug court program. And eventually, I got caught like a month later from being AWOL. And I went back to jail, and I was in there for 40 days. He made me sit in jail for 40 days for being AWOL from the program. And before I could get out the program, he sent someone to do a home visit to make sure I had a proper place to live. And I kind of told a story, you know, that I was going to live with my aunt, and I was really not living with my aunt. And so at that time, he finally released me. I went back into the program, and I had been clean for like 80 days. And then I made a conscious decision to use again. So I was not the model client. And then it was at that point that I said, you know what, if I don't do this their way, I'm going to prison.
Right, eventually.
You know, so then we were going, I had to go to 12-step meetings. And I was going to meetings, and I remember them saying, you need to get a sponsor, you need to come to meetings. And I had a counselor back then who was also in recovery. And she said, Joyce, you need to go to every meeting in Mobile. And I listened to her. I finally made a decision to listen to someone. And I used to go to 2 meetings a day. I went to treatment like I was supposed to. And of course, I didn't have a job, so I didn't have any means to pay my drug court fees. And there was an opportunity to do community service to help pay for my fees. And that's exactly what I did. And I had a friend of mine who also worked at drug court, and I used to see her at the meetings, and I thought she was spying on me. And I said, well, how did you get a job here? And so she told me what she did. She said, I went through drug court, I volunteered, and at graduation, she said, they gave me a job. So I did the same exact thing that she did. I did community service, and at graduation, they offered me a part-time position with the community service program. And that was in February '99.
And you've been there since?
I've been there ever since. I've worked with the community service program, I've worked with alternative sentencing, and I'm finally where I believe God wanted me to be. And that's helping someone else to overcome the disease of addiction. Since then, I went back to school. I got a second associate's degree from Bishop, then I transferred to South, and I got my bachelor's degree from South Alabama. Then I went into the counseling program at South. I have received my master's degree. And then I went into the public administration program at South. Now I'm currently working on my doctorate degree with Walden University.
Well, you know what? Let me tell you, we're going to change that. It's no longer just Miss Morrissette in my book.
Well, thank you.
It's Dr. Morrissette from this point on. You know, hey, at this point, you have been so successful with everything you've done, so I know you're going to accomplish it. So as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, today I can say that I'm no longer addicted to drugs and alcohol. I'm addicted to school now. I'm addicted to school and educating myself.
And that's a beautiful thing. All right, Doc.
And today I can say that I have 20 years clean from drugs and alcohol. My clean date is June 13, 1999. I just celebrated 1998. I just celebrated my 20-year anniversary. I'm still involved in my recovery process. I'm actually the chairperson of our area convention that's going to be held here in Mobile. I try to stay active as much as I can. You know, that daughter, my child that I told you about that was taken from me, she's a graduate of the University of Alabama, Birmingham. She's graduated last year. She's a nurse now. And I have a son, my first child, that was also taken from me. He lives in California still, and he's a psych tech. So both of my children are very successful. They all know about my addiction.
Your past.
Yes, they all know about my past. I made my amends with my children and my family and society. Yes.
I have no words. I am very, very proud of the things you've accomplished. It takes a lot for you to overcome everything you have overcome and to be where you are with children. There's no words. The only word I can come up with is strong. That's a huge word, but that's the word I find when I hear your story. We're going to take a short break, y'all. I know that there's someone out here that can relate to what Dr. Morrissette is telling us today. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We're going to take a short commercial break, and we'll be right back with Doc.
I think you need to call Jerome.
I'm Attorney Jerome Carter. Call me right now.
Come on, come on, come
Welcome back. We're back again today with Dr. Morrissette. I know she's like, why does she keep calling me that? But it is what it is. That's who I am. Yes. I already know you're going to accomplishment, and I always believe what you call them is what they will become. Exactly. So at this point, you're already halfway there. You're more than halfway there. I don't know of anyone else that has accomplished what you've accomplished. We all say we go through so much, and my daughter tells me, well, Mom, I don't like to be compared when I'm going through something. People always say, well, you don't know what somebody else is going through. And she hates that because she feels like her struggle is her struggle. Right. And she taught me something because I believe that. I agree with that. Don't compare my struggle to somebody else's struggle because they're in that struggle because they can handle it. I'm handling my struggle because that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Right. I don't know if I can handle the struggle you've had. So it just reminds me of what my daughter has told me, because we are all put into situations for whatever reason it is. That's right. And I probably wouldn't be here if I did if I went through any of that you went through. I don't know if I probably would have succumbed to it. I wouldn't be here. I'll have a tombstone by now. Yes. So I have to commend you and talk about how strong you are, because we need that type of strength around us. We need someone around us that can tell us it's going to be okay. Like, really, I went through this, and I'm not saying everybody can come through this, but I did this. I'm still here, and if you're still here, you can overcome a lot of the addictions that you have. That's correct. So I want you to talk about, can anyone contact you per se, personally, or how do they reach out to you? Even if they want to discreetly, if they're going through some type of, whether it's pills, whether it's marijuana, whether it's crack cocaine, how do they reach out to say, I finally want some help? They can reach out to me. I'm also on Facebook, Joyce Morrissette. They can inbox me. Someone may not want to contact me in my job, right? But if they inbox me and reach out to me, I will get in contact with them, and I'll give them my personal cell number, and they can call me. Okay. Make sure you guys do that. If you want to inbox me and I can pass the information on to her, I got on speed dial. She's stuck like Chuck. Y'all know once I get you on speed dial, it's over. She's on speed dial. So if you want to inbox me even to reach out to her because you don't want everybody in your business, I totally understand that. Or if you just want to reach out to her directly, again, find her on social media, reach out to her on Messenger, and I know she's going to help. That's what she does. She's passionate about it. She's clearly getting educated almost every day to make sure she gets to where she needs to be in her mind. I think she's already there. The story alone is enough. So just to add the education behind it also says more about you than I think you can even imagine. I'm speechless, and I'm never speechless. People would tell you, "What, Nicole? I don't have anything to say." It's just really, it really just brings attention to people having serious addictions in our city, yes. And we're not even aware of it. That's true. And I constantly tell my clients, and not to compare myself with them, but if I can make it, if I can do it, so can you. Yes. At some point you just have to have the willingness, just a little bit of willingness to say, you know what, I've done that. Let me try something different. Yes. Let me try something different. And the struggles that I've been through, I know I've been through them for a reason. And today I can truly say my reason is to help someone else. Yes, yes. So do you think that anyone that is addicted to anything at this point, do you feel like they need a friend? Like were you able to just make a decision? Well, I was able to make a decision, but like I said, I was also forced to go to outside 12-step meetings, a support group. Okay. And there's nothing like having someone that has gone through what I'm going through, right, that can help me to say, you know what, this is how I did it without using drugs and alcohol. Right. Regardless of whatever the drug is, if it's crack cocaine, now today we have the opiate epidemic. So let's talk about, well, we're gonna take a short break. Okay. And we're gonna talk about opioids. That has been a hot topic lately. It has. Where that's the go-to drug now. It is. So we're gonna take a short break and we're gonna come back and talk about opioids. Stay tuned, guys. Don't go anywhere.
Got a court case? Call Jerome Carter. If you want to win, call Jerome Carter. Every time I went to court with Jerome, I won. If you want to win, call Jerome right now.
We're back. We're going to talk to Dr. Morrissette about opioids. That has been a very hot topic in the community. I have heard about that a lot lately. So we're going to ask Doc, give us some feedback on this. How do one even begin to become addicted to opioids? How does that start?
The majority of the clients that I have that have come in through our program that are addicted to opiates, it's easy, accessible to go to the doctor, and I'm in pain, and they write them a prescription for pain medication. I've had clients that even come through the program that say, you know, I got addicted to Percocets, which is an opiate, after having my child.
Oh.
And they just like the way it makes them feel. And I've had clients that even say that, you know, I had an injury and the doctor prescribed me some opiates. And then they started abusing them by not taking them as prescribed. And you know, the bottle may say take one every 4 to 6 hours. They take 2 or 3 because they like the way it makes them feel. You know, I've had them say, well, you know, I just have to take it to get up to do what I need to do around the house and to take care of my children. You know, and it's easy for them to get it. Just to go to the doctor and say, I'm aching, I have pain, and they easily write them a prescription. Next thing you know, they're hooked.
So how does that work? Like if it does say, and this is just me being completely ignorant to it, if I am on opiates and it says take 2, they take 1 every 6 hours, and then you're taking them constantly, abusing them. Do they refill the prescription faster?
They will not refill the prescription. Now that we have this crisis that's going on, it may be a little more difficult for them to get the prescription. And that's how they end up getting in drug court, because then they started creating their own prescriptions. And next thing you know, they have all the 10 charges of writing forgery prescriptions. And then for each prescription, it's a charge. And we have professionals that are doing this. We have nurses that are doing this.
Writing a prescription for them.
And it's easy for them to do that. Yes.
Oh, wow. That's interesting, because this has been a very hot topic here lately as far as what people are addicted to. Even some of the celebrities. This is what they're getting addicted to. So, and I just never, fortunately for me, I don't have to take anything like that, but I can only imagine why. And when you said it's because of how it makes them feel.
Exactly.
That's what has put them on this ride as far as getting these prescriptions.
Exactly.
So we have a lot of people in the city who are going through that also, and probably don't even realize they're addicted to anything.
And the thing about it, once they get addicted to it, the withdrawal symptoms are bad. They go through withdrawals. Their body aches, they're sick. They actually go through physical withdrawals. So rather than go through the physical withdrawals, they try to use more, so they don't have to go through the physical withdrawals.
Because they don't like the way that feels.
They don't like the way that feels. And also along the lines of the opioid addiction, the epidemic that's going on, we're now seeing people that are using heroin again. Yes.
So they're going from the opioids to the heroin to make themselves feel. And that's something they're getting on the street.
That's in the same family.
It's in the, oh, wow.
That's in the same family as the opioids.
You know, when you said Percocet, the first thing I thought about was our music. Because our music pushes those things. You know, I mean, the first thing, I've never heard of Percocet before until I heard it on the radio. So when you said Percocet, the first thing I'm like, Percocet. Molly, that's horrible. Yes. I should not be singing that as a tune. But it made me think about, not only is it an epidemic, seriously, it's also in the music that our children are listening to. And I think you will have to let me know if I'm wrong. I think some of the children are trying it, not because they're in pain, because the radio is telling them this is the cool stuff to do.
They have pill parties where they come and you get all the medication out your parents' medicine cabinets, and they just dump them in a bowl and they take the pills like that. That's what our youngsters are doing.
Girl,
some of the youngsters are doing.
Oh.
Yes, they have pill parties.
Oh my God.
So as a parent and as an adult, if we're taking medication, we need to make sure that we keep our medicine, especially narcotics, on lock and key.
And it's not the children, the toddlers we have to be concerned with now. It's the teenagers we have to be.
Exactly.
Girl, look, I'm like, shut your mouth and keep on talking. As I've heard before, of course. This is educational to me. I have 2 daughters.
Okay.
I would never say what my children won't do.
Exactly.
Because who knows what they're doing behind my back. You know, I think children know how to act when they are around certain people, and as a parent, they know how to act around me. They could be stoned. I just probably wouldn't even know it. So that's a conversation I'm going to have with my children when I get home, because we haven't had the conversation about. We talk about drugs and things of that nature, but not to the extent of the details that you and I are having right now. I'm sure they know about it.
Of course they do.
Yes, they know about it. My daughter, she talks about it, how her peers in college, how they have to stay high in order to get through the day's worth of work, and how it stresses them out, so they'll stay high. So she talks about it, but that doesn't mean it eliminates her.
And in college, they're on Adderall to keep them awake, alert, to be able to stay up to do these papers that they have to do.
And that's addictive
as well?
Yes,
it is. It is. And I know when my daughter went off to college, I told her, don't let anyone give you anything to stay up. If you need to stay up, you can stay up and do your classwork and go to class, and you come home and you can go to sleep later. And as a professional now, I also told her, don't let anyone encourage you to say, take this, it'll help you stay up. Take this, it'll make you go to sleep. I said, if your body's tired enough, you'll go to sleep.
You'll go to sleep. Your body is telling you to go to sleep, so you just need to go to sleep.
Because I've had too many professionals in the health industry that have been clients of mine, and that's how they got addicted in their profession.
And not. Oh wow! Again, if you guys have any questions, any comments, if you want to reach out to Dr. Morrissette about what you're going through, and you don't want anyone all in your business, and you need that help, please reach out to her through Facebook Messenger, and from there she'll contact you, and you guys can get connected up in a better way where you can contact her. I am so glad that you came to see me today.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
I learned a lot. I'm definitely going home. As a matter of fact, when I get in the car, I'm going to call both of my kids on three-way, hey, we need to talk.
Exactly.
I'm going to have this conversation with them immediately, because, as I said, we talk about drugs, but not to this extent. I don't think I realized how easy it's to get. That's part of me being oblivious to what's going on in the world around me, with me only being familiar with what I want to be familiar with.
Exactly.
So this is something that I was interested in because I didn't know.
Okay.
So I thank you for coming aboard.
You're welcome.
Our special guest today, Dr. Joyce Morrissette. Again, if you guys need to reach out to her, please do so. You can inbox myself, and I can maybe send a number if she gives me permission.
That's fine.
So if you want to do that, if you want to inbox me, I can, with her permission, I will slide you her phone number where you can contact her. Or do you accept text messages?
Yes, I do.
Maybe you want to send her a text and, let her know you saw the show, so she won't think y'all just, looking for her, no other kind of reason. So do that. Thank you guys for tuning in to Inquisitive I Am. I am your host, Nicole Petite. I will see you all next Tuesday. Love y'all.